Hi, friends. Welcome to Lawyer Up. This is a very big week here in Texas. Early voting is starting tomorrow, October 13th, and runs until October 30th, as Election Day is approaching on November 3rd. If you were like me 4 years ago, the following morning after Election Day, personally, I was pretty devastated. But at the end of the day, I knew I voted. Please keep in mind, this is one of the most significant ways you can make your voice heard. But don't let this be the only way to do that. You need to continually keep your senators, your local politicians, your city council, your school board trustees, and also your House of Representatives. You need to keep them accountable. Let them know what you're thinking, what you're for or against. Don't just only vote in this election. Don't just vote only for the presidential position. Keep in mind, you're also voting for senator, you're voting for your local school board positions, trustees, also for Texas Supreme Court. There's several positions open for that, at least three. And there's also Court of Appeals, judicial positions open. Look into each person's background that you're the person you're considering in the first place. We'll have some resources of links down below that can give you shed some background on some of these positions and also the candidate themselves. We won't be able to cover everyone for you, but this is at least some kind of starting point for you. When you go out to the polls, please wear a mask, wear PPE, keep your distance, and bring your identification. They accept at least 7 different forms of photo ID identification. Of course, your regular Texas driver license, your concealed handgun license, regular Texas identification card, also your voter registration card, your U.S. passport, and even your U.S. naturalization certificate, because that also has a photo on there of your. Also, bring your U.S. military card, and if you don't have any of those 7 photo identification cards, you can bring a couple of secondary evidence of your proof of U.S. citizenship. Of course, your U.S. birth certificate, but there's several others that we'll list right here. Now, you've all heard the news about the drama on mail-in voting, mail-in ballot. In Texas, you're allowed to do that, but it's not universal. It's not automatic. You have to first apply to receive the actual application for the ballot. That is not the ballot itself. So it does take some time. You have until October 23rd, so it's about 12 days from now, as of this recording, to receive that ballot. Now, you can do that part online to request the application. But after that, we did a test run. It took about a couple weeks to. It could be faster now. I'm not sure. You only want to request it if you're eligible. First of all, I know with COVID and the pandemic, a good amount of people are fearful to even go to the polls. So that's even more reason why you should go vote early. Try to find a location that seems to have more space. For example, around us, we have Kroger is a close location, but last time we voted last year, it was really tight spacing. So we're going to go to a different location where it's just more space, a school. There's a limited ways that you can be eligible for mail-in ballot in Texas. Number one, you have to be 60, you can be 65 years or older. You can be confined in a jail, but you still have to be eligible. Or is if you live outside the county of where you normally live, and also where you're currently registered, but you have to be out of that county for the entire period of the election. That includes the early voting up until past November 3rd. And you have to provide your start date when you started living outside the county and also the end date of when you have received mail up until that day. So it's a very specific rule. You can't just pick a different county and you're not even living there and then try to avoid going in person to vote. So I'd be very careful of that. Also, if you're disabled, that would be a qualifying reason to request a mail-in ballot. So here in Texas, there's some legal drama on the ability to drop off ballots to more than one location in your county. Before October 1st, many counties in Texas has set up satellite locations to drop off your ballot. In Harris County, for example, they had at least over 20 drop-off locations. And the October 1st proclamation signed by Governor Abbott limited it to one location in each county. Now, if you know Harris County and the size of Harris County, that is utterly ridiculous to have one location at the football stadium at the NRG. So recently, there was a federal district court judge had actually entered into an injunction to stop this limit of one location. However, just recently, earlier today, as far as the news just came out that a appellate court had stayed that injunction. So that means it's back to the October 1st proclamation of one drop-off location. So we'll keep you up to date with what's happening on that. But in the meantime, if you have the ability to go vote early, please do that. Like I said again, this is not just for the position of the president. This is also for your local school board trustees, your railroad commission, for example, your appellate court, judicial positions, and your justices for the Supreme Court, just to name a few. I know everyone's been talking about this election for the last 4 years. I just want to share what I've been thinking about in terms of a leader. I've always thought that a leader for this type of position of the president and also really any elected official should have certain leadership characteristics. Now, the last 4 years, people just forget what the characteristics are. Number one for me is that do you have the ability to unify the country for its best interest? When you research about all these different political candidates, please look into the background. Have they been able to give back to their community in some way? It doesn't necessarily have to be related to that position. If it's, for example, Supreme Court Justice of Texas, do they have judicial experience? I've recalled in the past when I researched all candidates for that position, there's a couple out there that did not even have any judicial experience. I think most people who, even some lawyers, I don't think know that the justice of the Supreme Court of Texas does not have to have any judicial experience. They can go straight from being a lawyer all the way to a Supreme Court justice. So it's very important that that you research your candidates, and it's not research just on their political website because, of course, they can just state whatever they want. You have to look into some past articles or past videos about this person. Keep in mind that this is not just an election for the president. There are several different positions available. There's no straight ballot voting in Texas, so you have to select a candidate for each position. Of course, you don't have to, but I highly recommend you vote for every position. Research the person that you're considering. We have links down below. You can go to votetexas.gov. You have to select your precinct based on your address, and also have the links down below of where you go for early voting. Keep in mind the location for early voting is different than if you were to wait to actually vote on election day, November 3rd. So please don't rely on the same location to save you some time. I've run into a situation in the past myself where I thought I was voting at a certain location, but my name was not in the voter log. So I had to go to another location. So please look online, search online on votetexas.gov, or go to your search online of your local county. Just type in elections after that on where you should be voting. I wish you the best in voting. I really hope that you vote in this election for all the positions. Please don't just comment on Facebook. Please take this time to exercise your civic duty by voting, whether for red, blue, or libertarian. Also, please don't forget to fill out the census. You can do this by phone or online. It took me less than 10 minutes. It happens only once every 10 years, every decade. And it's very important because it helps the government know how to redraw legislative lines, state level and on federal level, because it's based on population of each district. It also guides the government on how to allocate billions of dollars for over 100 programs, for example, Medicaid or Head Start, other educational programs, or for SNAP, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. Hi, friends. I just want to remind you about a law here in Texas, a criminal offense of electioneering and loitering near a polling place. at a polling location. So please do not, I don't recommend wearing any political campaign shirt. Don't bring any flyers, because if you've voted before, you would see there's political signs all over the place, but they're more than 100 feet from the actual facility where you go vote. So if you're a voter yourself, please don't do that. As much as you want to, please refrain from wearing a campaign shirt when you're voting. Because if you get caught doing that, that qualifies as a Class C misdemeanor. Hi friends, if you're new to our channel, please hit subscribe down below, smash the like button, and please leave a comment. Let us know if you had a chance to vote early. So please fill out the census, please go vote early. Until next time, please stay safe.